When I was Minister for Energy, and I suggested that we should go nuclear, I did not expect the kind of reaction. I received a very negative reaction from people who were themselves ignorant. Oh, Raila is talking about bringing nuclear energy here. You want to bring nuclear bombs. You don't want bombs here. We are a peaceful country. I say this is what is called peaceful use of nuclear energy. And this is accepted worldwide. Most countries actually are nuclear. France, for example, has 80% of France nuclear energy is nuclear. And many other countries, there was times when there were accidents. Because there was an accident in Japan, remember during how do you call it? And then there was Chernobyl in Russia. But those were the only cases of accidents. And accidents are accidents. Anything can happen. We've seen planes crashing with hundreds of people. So this is an accident like any other accident. But nuclear energy is the safest source of energy. As an engineering student, in 1967, we were taken to a nuclear plant in Germany. And we toured the nuclear plant, and we were taught about everything about nuclear. So that's why I don't fear nuclear, because I've been right into the nuclear reactor itself. And I know that it is safe. The safety measures taken are very high, with high standards. And, but I've also said at that time, I remember one time when I was launching my campaign, I talked of 3 things that will help us to catapult this country to where it should be. I said, number 1, infrastructure. Number 2, infrastructure. Number 3, now energy is one of infrastructures. Infrastructure is not just roads. Infrastructure is many things. Energy is a very important infrastructure. And you look at the development of a country on the basis of how much electricity is being consumed per capita. And ours is very low in this country, indeed. And what are the other sources that we have? There's geothermal, there is hydro, there is solar, there is wind, and that is all. And all of them have got limitations. Solar is coming up, but it's not yet reached where it should reach. And there are times when you don't have enough solar. You need to invest in storage. The wind is periodical, but then thermal is actually polluting and causing the emission of carbons into the environment, which is contributing to global warming. So we have, the only option is nuclear. And right now, for example, our total generation capacity is just 3,400 megawatts. That is peanuts. When I was a student studying in Germany's city of Magdeburg, which was a heavy industry city, the consumption of power in the city of Magdeburg was higher than the whole of East African countries together, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. Just one city alone in Europe, you see. So energy is so important. What we are actually generating here is peanuts. But we could have gone much further, faster. Look at a country like Vietnam. Those of you who are alive, before 1975 heard of what happened in Vietnam. We were born when the war in Vietnam was going on, and it went on until 1975. Each day there were reports of bombs thrown in Vietnam. Bombs, people thought all the Vietnamese would have been dead. But then the war ended in 1975. Kenya was independent. Vietnam went straight into reconstructing their country and developing their country. Today, Vietnam has overtaken Kenya. The population of Vietnam now is nearly 90 million people. But they generate 70,000 megawatts of power in Vietnam, as we are 3,400. And look at Korea, the same thing. Korea and Kenya are mentioned to the government officers last week. And Ghana were at par in terms of development, industrialization, literacy levels, per capita income, levels of poverty, and so on. But now, 62 years down the road, Korea's economy is more than 40% bigger than that of Kenya. Korea has moved from a third world to a first world. So we are behind. We need to leapfrog. We need to move faster. So it's not just a question of a nuclear plant here. And they've been telling me, they think about 1,000 megawatts, 2,000 megawatts. I'm saying let's just start with 5,000 megawatts. And then also, if you start with 5,000, ensure that there's proper safety. But I've also said they're talking of starting in 1934. There's no reason why we should start in 1934. If we have made a decision now, we begin to order straight away, because it takes time to manufacture. And this manufacturing will be going on, it will take 2 years, maximum 3 years. It will be ready. I've visited a plant in China, in Korea, where they are manufacturing nuclear plants. And you can see you have got an order here from this country, you've got it from Malaysia, you've got an order from India, you've got an order for this. They're all busy manufacturing. Let there be also an order for Kenya there, so that you can start and aim at Vision 2030. Vision 2030, let us have a plant working. That should be our aim as a country. And I think it can be done. We must say Kenya must be able to chase its peers and reach there. Don't continue to compare Kenya with the worst. That, we are an island of prosperity in a sea of turmoil. Don't compare yourself with the worst. Compare Kenyans with the best, because they are capable of attaining the best. They say in the land of the blind, one-eyed man is a king. So that's why Kenya says a king, because all the others are blind. No, don't compare us with failed states. Compare us with the best. You are capable of attaining the best.